Hi guys, good evening. Wishing a very summer good evening rather. It's a nice evening to actually learn a lot of things, right? We come across with this amazing topic on how we've got this very special guest coming in all the way from Accenture, who's a data science specialist, who started as being from a metallurgy background and went on to being a data scientist. Now here we are here to basically talk about how do you basically start and move in from a non-IT, non-coding background to getting a six-figure salary without actually knowing how to code. And I think we have a very special and an appropriate guest to answer it, someone who did it himself, right? But before we go on and meet our guest, I would like to give myself an introduction. My name is Ikshit. I am a data enthusiast myself, right? I am a trainer here at Coding Invaders. I have done more than 1,000 plus academic IT consultations, helping a lot of people move to IT, right? With what is right for them and what is not. Before I move on, right? Why don't why don't we get to know each other? So please tell me your names. Where are you from, and how old are you? Waiting for your answers. Guessing the session will be approximately 90 minutes. Shraddha, that is a very good question. I would ask you to park that question into Q&A so that we can go ahead and answer it. Hi Siddesh, hi Disha, hi Shabaz. Where are you guys from? Hi Shifali. Shifali is from Rajasthan. Krishna, you're from Kerala. Okay. Okay. Tanmay. Hi Tanmay. Okay, Vivek, you are a second year mechanical student. Okay, great. Hi Saurabh. Hi Neha. Hi Priyadarshini. Hi Soham. Hi Ajivir. Guys, while you basically comment about where are you from, also you would find a poll, right, which will talk about your age group. So why don't you see on the poll and fill in an age group, right? Hi Tanisha. Hi Shivika. Hi Muskan. Hi Sanika. We take third year. Oh, that's great, Tanisha. Hi Akansh. Prince, you're from Bihar. Great. Maharashtra 21. Dhananjay. That's amazing. Guys, while we interact, you'll have a second poll right here, which talks about what are the most comfortable languages. That's a lot of enthusiasm, Mridul. Thank you so much for that. Please select your most comfortable language. Right, that helps us basically plan the webinar in a better way. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. English, no Hindi. Okay. You're pursuing data analytics, and I'm so excited for this webinar. That's great, Tanisha. Hi, John. Hi, Tarun. Right. So we have an 81% majority on English. Let's proceed with that. I'll keep moving on and off with some words from Hindi. Let's see how that go. Right, guys. Before we go on, I'll give you a little introduction on Coding Invaders. Coding Invaders is one of the largest online universities based out of Central Europe. We are operating here from India. Right. We have a student base. We have helped approximately 22,000 plus students so far in helping them graduate and find their dream job into IT. We have a learner base of from more than 40 plus countries, and we are on board with 100 plus countries for their internal upskilling purposes. Our average salary hikes has been between 30 to 400% for people. That's an amazing hike that you can get. Hi, Banui. That's a whopping 162 people on the webinar already. That's amazing. Is it true that Ikansh will have our guest. Ikansh will have a guest here, Shubhankit, who actually went in from being into metallurgy into an IT field specialist. Yes, that's very, very true. right? Now, before we go on, we'll discuss about why did we gather here, what will we talk about, the agenda for the webinar. So we'll talk about a very important question, right? Which I think all of you get confused with, which all of you have as a question: is IT for everyone? Is IT something that anyone can go ahead with? And I think I have a very uh, appropriate person to answer that, right? How is the job market changing? We'll also discuss how is the job market changing, right? What are the most trending? What are the main professions when it comes to IT, right? What are the different stages in how an IT product is created, and the next set of steps as to how do you decide which profession is best for you? Ajay says, with ChatGPT, will ChatGPT destroy data science jobs? No, Ajay. ChatGPT is more of an assistive tool than an actual thing, than an actual, role. Right. Dipanshu is from Madhya Pradesh. Hi, Dipanshu. Welcome to the webinar. Amazing, guys. Guys, I know you'll have a lot of questions. Please make sure you have a Q&A section. Keep parking your questions there so that we don't miss out on the most important ones. Vivek, I would repeat what I said for Ajay. No, ChatGPT does not destroy data science job for sure, but we'll talk more about it. At the what results do you get at the end of the session? You get acquainted with the IT world. What does IT world include? Right? You learn about how are IT products created. So different stages in which different the product cycle of an IT product, right? Plus, you get an overview on different professions. So, what do these professions do day in and day out? Right? And at the end of this webinar, for people joining in today and for finding in their time, we have this amazing offer wherein you get to join our job guarantee batch at almost a 43% discount. So you would find a link right there into your chat box, right? If you're interested knowing more about it, go ahead and register, right? This is an amazing offer for the next 24 hours only, wherein you get an amazing 43% discount to enroll in for the courses. For us, that's an amazing question. Please park it onto Q&A. Let me handle it along with our special guest today. Right? And this, okay, now this seems very unusual and this is very amazing. You have this opportunity. So one lucky winner from amongst you will have a chance of winning a completely free workshop, a completely free course, a job guarantee course into the next upcoming batch, right? So go ahead and register yourself. It's completely free of cost, and you get into a job guarantee batch. We give you an on-paper job guarantee. So register yourself, guys. Don't take up a lot of time. Register yourselves, right? That would be the right way to go, right? And you'll actually be able to win through those, right? Don't waste a lot of time. Try your luck and get in that completely free course. Great, the registrations have already started coming in, right? And while you do that, right, I would go ahead and help you meet our speaker. We welcome you, Shubhankit. Hi, good evening. How has the evening been for you?
Hey, hi, Akshit. Really good. A little relief from heat in Gurgaon.
Uh-huh.
Let's.
What I've heard is it's really hot there.
Today has been a little cold. Not
Uh-huh.
cold, but less hot, I would say. So it has
Okay.
been a relief. But yeah,
Okay.
Delhi temperature, everyone knows what it is.
Everyone does. Shubhankit,
Sorry.
welcome. And I would not go ahead and talk about your achievements in total. I would want people to hear from you straight one on one, right? Wherein I had this very specific question. I think this was a question from one of our viewers, Ekansh, who asked, is it true that you went from metallurgy to being a data science specialist? Right. I'll actually ask you to take up that question
Yeah,
and
actually,
actually go
so
ahead and introduce yourself.
yeah. So actually, I complete my graduation from NIT Jaipur, and I was in material science and metallurgy. So, like, if I'll tell you how much I was in, into IT, I would say that even the presentation that a professor asked us to make was they asked us to submit it, print the presentation and submit it in a file format, right? We used computers only for gaming purposes and all that, right? So that was my core computer experience. Later,
Uh-huh.
I started learning about machine learning stuff, and
Okay.
I was also scared of coding, a lot scared of coding. So what I
Hmm.
did, I studied a lot on pen and paper first, only the mathematics part, and then I,
Okay.
started coding. Initially, if anyone starts coding, initially it's hard part for them, and they also don't know how much you have to study, right? You don't have to be a developer at the end, right? So
Hmm.
essentially,
Hmm.
if you start liking coding, you can become a developer. You can become a really good developer, but
Okay.
it's hard for people to find paths, right? So luckily, I got some mentors and I got some good advices, and yeah, currently I'm working in Accenture as a data scientist.
Got it. Shubhankit, what was that one incident which basically pushed you from being a metallurgist to being a data scientist?
The impact that the role creates, right? So when we're working in core field, there is less impact that you can create, right?
Okay.
So let's say if I would have been metallurgy, I would have been working in a steel plant right now. So I
Hmm.
cannot change any technology, right? At most I
Okay.
can do a research, I can write a paper, and that technology would be implemented, let's say after 50 years or after 100 years, right? That is the
Okay.
timeline working in core fields.
Okay.
But in
Okay.
case of data science and in IT, if I have an idea right now and I have a right tools and skill, I can
Okay.
implement it in a day, right?
Okay.
That creates a huge impact, and
Hmm.
that is one thing that motivated me to go into this field.
Got it. Got it. Shubhankit, this the next question that comes in would, basically talk about the course with which you are, processing this particular webinar. So you talked about data science. I mean, how and when did you get to understand that data science is something that you would want to go ahead with? Why not being a front end developer or a back end developer, or let's say someone into computer engineering? What was your idea like, or how did you get to understand that?
For this particular thing you need someone to guide you, right? To be honest,
Okay.
because all of these roles sounds exciting to us. It seems like, yeah, you see a huge salary in one of the field, you think, okay, this is better, and in the
Mhm.
next you see salary in other field, you think this is better, right?
Yes.
Specific to your skills, specific to your amount of time that you can dedicate, or the interest that you have in different fields. For example, if somebody
Correct.
has huge interest in feels like client management, so they should go in consulting, right? But
Correct.
at their age there should be someone to guide them, right?
Correct.
So for me, I luckily had one cousin who helped me out, right?
Okay.
You are good in maths, so you should try this out. uh,
Uh-huh.
that I also found some mentors along with some edtech courses, right? So
Hmm.
that all thing helped me a lot, and I think
Okay.
that's for everyone.
That basically gave you the right push. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing to hear. That's amazing to hear. Shavankit, we'll keep interacting with you. I'll keep picking out a few questions from our learners as in how we go by. But
Yeah.
I would leave you with one, a big, the elephant in the room, as they call it, right? Is IT for everyone? Or as they say, IT is not for
Yeah.
everyone, right? There's a lot of
Okay.
things. I mean, amongst your cousins, your siblings, your friends, you get to hear this very frequently. IT is not something that anyone can opt into, right? I would let you take it up from here and basically go on and explain and help us understand how can IT become a part of everyone and anyone around.
So, Ikshit, let's start with a hypothesis, right? Let's first assume that IT is not for everyone, and then
Okay.
we'll see what it means. So, first of all, general perception, what we have in our mind when I say IT, and if I close my eyes, if I think what's IT mean, I see Bangalore, right? I see
Okay.
Bangalore, I see Cyber City in Gurgaon,
Uh-huh.
right? And I
Uh-huh.
see people doing coding, right?
Okay.
And client and all those huge words come in, right?
Hmm.
So that is one part of IT. That is like people who are running IT, right? But it's not the complete IT. We all are individually a part of IT, and in the next slide we'll see how it is. So
Okay.
let's first assume that okay, IT is not for everyone. Now,
Hmm.
the transformation that IT begins, right? So we all are part of this transformation that you can see on a screen, right? So
Okay.
first of all, Aadhaar, right? All of your information that you have, right, can be summarized into one card, and everybody has in India, right?
Correct.
So, and that is built by someone who is working in IT. That is a part of IT structure. So if you have an
Hmm.
Aadhaar card, you are part of IT. Similarly,
Correct.
all of us are making UPI payments, right? So we all are in directly or indirectly integrating with IT, right? Because
Okay.
somebody in an IT company is developing this code or
Hmm.
developing this logic of how one like the payment will be made from one account to other, right?
Okay.
Let's go to the next slide. Yeah. So again, like this was the huge transformation. If you go on a personal level, right, you'll see
Hmm.
more transformation. For example, in case of food, health, education, transport and work, right? So let's take example of transport, right? So like Uber, Ola, right? These all are
Got it.
companies, and these companies are working, or they are operating from an IT industry, right?
Okay.
But if you are not there to book a Ola or book an Uber, right, these companies will not run, right? You
Okay.
are interacting with an app, your feedback is being recorded by the app, right? So you are a part of IT, right? So, first of all, we need to remove this conception from the mind that IT is something, a person doing coding, and if you don't know code, IT is not for you. That is something that is the biggest myth out there, and that is the biggest thing stopping people from going to IT, right?
Right.
So like this is like a really good example. So before, what used to happen when you have to take a loan, you used to go to a bank, there's a lot of people involved, right? And you have to take permission from a lot of them. You need in India, you need a little bit of information also, like do you know the manager, of somebody of your relative knows the manager, those things as well.
That's the
But
normal
now if I
conception. Yes.
yeah, but now if I have to take a loan, I can like do it overnight. I can fill my application form 11. If all records are correct, I'll get the loan by 3 a.m, right? So in the
Hmm.
midnight I can get the loan, right? So
Hmm.
this is also part of IT, and we people are making it that huge, right? The
Okay.
IT is booming because people are utilizing it that much, right?
Okay.
And it's not like only people who are building the IT are part of IT, right?
Okay.
IT is information technology. So wherever information is there, right, and technology is involved, it's called an IT. So we
Okay.
all, like, if we are, even if we are doing a seminar, all of these people who are in the seminar, we are using this particular tool to
Correct.
conduct the seminar. We all are indirectly part of IT, right?
Correct.
So
Okay.
this this removes a really big misconception that IT is not for everyone. IT is generally, as of now, when we have that much of an internet connections, IT is on
Okay.
all spheres of life. Even if you are, you know, let's say you are living on an island and you don't know nothing about the world, only in that case, IT is not for you. Even
Uh-huh.
if you are living in any country in the world, you are part of an IT, and you
Uh-huh.
can more, integrate into it by just developing some skill, and those skill will be specific to specific person.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense.
So we already live in a world of technology, and IT is already for everyone if you don't work for it. Okay. Now, once we are done with that, so let's see how job market is changing.
So
So, yeah,
we'll actually talk about it. There was a few questions while I was introducing you that
yeah.
they were talking about Chat GPT and they were talking about jobs going extinct and stuff like that. Do you actually think that these IT jobs will actually cease to exist with such AI systems coming in? Right.
Uh, Actually, if we have time, I'll just tell you a quick story, right? So it's
Okay.
not, see, this is a fourth industrial revolution that we are witnessing, right?
Okay.
So in the first industrial revolution, second industrial revolution, what
Okay.
happened that, there were mills, cotton mills, right?
Hmm.
And,
Hmm.
cotton mills in Manchester. This is a real story, cotton mills in
Okay.
Manchester. And then,
Hmm.
there were a lot of manual labor working there, right?
Hmm.
And suddenly the owner of the mill introduced, a machineries, right?
Okay.
So now, what 10 labors were doing, that could have been done by one machinery. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, like to this, the response of people were twofold. First category of people, what they did, they agree, like they accepted the fact, okay, the machine has taken my job, so I should look for a better job. So they took the desk job. They
Okay.
started doing accounting. They started making records. They started monitoring the machines, right?
Okay.
The other people, what they did, they started, revolution. They started a revolution of protesting against the machine,
Got it.
right? So at
Hmm.
the end of at the end of the shift, what they'll do, they'll enter the mill or the cotton mill, and they'll destroy the machine, right?
Uh-huh.
So they can destroy one machine, right? But this is not the long run. You cannot stop the revolution this way, right? So
Got it.
ideally, what the first people that that took the better jobs, right?
Got it.
That is the
Hmm.
thing, right? The same thing applies for Chat GPT, right? If you'll think that Chat GPT is doing your stuff, then you have to
Okay.
first improve your stuff, right? That's the thing.
Okay.
So I use Chat GPT in my work, right? So I'm working as a data scientist. If I get
Hmm.
some error, I write it on Chat GPT. It gives me a better solution, right? Okay, try this way. I use the same way, I get the solution, right? So it's helping me, improve my work, right?
Okay.
So yeah, that thing is possible at some point, that it will be able to do the work that I am doing right now,
Okay.
right? But at that point, it's my responsibility to develop my work even further,
Got it.
right?
Got
Yeah.
it. Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
that is the thing, right? If you will just stay with limited amount of skills, uh not, let's say, not Chat GPT, but a better version of Chat GPT will take your job, right? That's a harsh truth. right?
Mhm.
So I think can I move ahead?
Yeah, sure. So,
Yeah.
guys, I'm sorry, got a little engaged with this amazing
Hmm.
conversation that we were having,
Hmm.
right? Why don't you share your professions and industries you work in? So, I have had a few replies. There are students from BTech third year, Bhumika who says
Hmm.
12th commerce, Balwant who says he's not employed yet, Jitendra says he's from BSc background, Disha says BCA first year student. Okay. Muskan says technical recruiter and pacer. That's amazing, Muskan.
Okay.
Praveen, BTech first year student. Okay. Monica says lead generation specialist in Curve Solutions. That's amazing. Yagna.
Okay, so like
Yagna says
most of the people, Likshit, are I guess either students or they have uh, nominal experience of IT, right?
yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Very, very nominal experience of IT. Correctly said.
Okay. So I guess it's okay, right? I mean, that's why we are here in the seminar, right? So like
Mhm.
otherwise, like it's I guess it's normal to get doubts in this particular stage. I had a lot of doubts,
Correct.
so
Okay.
luckily I got help, and my aim would be to provide you the same. Okay.
That's amazing. That's
So
amazing.
let's understand one thing, guys, how the job market is changing. And this is like a really simple and most impactful example. So let's say you have to shop something. Let's take an example of this girl Neha, and she wants to go for shopping or buy something, and she had her in mind, "Okay, I want to buy that thing," right? So traditionally, what she used to do, she used to go to the bank, get in the line and ask the cashier for her money, and cashier would give her the money, right? That was the process, and then you she'll take the money and she'll go to the shop, right? Next, what happened? The ATMs came, right? So now she's not going to the bank; she's going to a nearest ATM, taking out the money and going for the shopping. Now, try to understand this thing, guys. The job of cashier is gone here, right? Now, who has taken the job of cashier? Is it the ATM machine or is the person who developed the ATM machine? Right? It's the person who developed the ATM machine who took the job of the cashier. Right? That is the most important thing to understand. Right? Now, what happened after several years later? UPI came, and now Neha doesn't even need to go to this ATM. Right? She directly goes to a shop, opens a Paytm or a phone pay, and then she can directly pay to the shopkeeper. Right? Now the job of ATM machine is gone. Right? And now again, sorry, correcting myself, the job of person who developed the ATM machine is gone, and who has taken the job? The person who developed the Paytm or the phone pay app, right? So it's not, you don't have to fight with the technology, you have to compete with the people who are working on the technology, right? You have to go to either their skill, or my advice to you will be to go on a, even better skill than them. So this is how the job market is changing. And this was like one simple finance example. So that's why we are adding tech in all of these things, right? So this is how IT is penetrating in all of the field. In education, you see ed tech, traditional ways of going tuitions are replaced by Byju's, and other ed tech organizations. Coding Invaders is one example of ed tech. And agriculture is stemming from agrotech, right? So a lot of the farmers used agrotech processes. And similarly, finance, we took same example we saw for Neha, right? Health has changed a lot, right? So for example, you don't have to stand in line for a chemist shop, right? You don't have to find a chemist shop, you can order all of your medicines from 1mg, right? Tata 1mg and several others, Apollo app is there, right? So you see these tech words adding all of the field, and this is how it's like, it's a like representation of how these field industry. So if you're working in health industry, you need to worry a little. But if you're working in health tech industry, then you are like in a good stage.
Mhm.
Okay, so guys, compared to what example I gave of Neha, like how machinery is taking a job of a person, and how we are updating it, year wise year, right? Or decade wise decade. So do you see like in your industry or in your field, or in any observation you have seen that okay, some work was being done by a person and is now completely automated, completely taken over by technology, and people who are using it are happy with it? Anyone in the chat can give an example?
Right, guys, hit the chat. Right, is IT applied to your industry? So if you're working now, if you're a student, how is IT as a solution utilized in what you're doing currently?
If not, I have a great
Right,
example actually.
right. So I mean, Shubhankit, why don't we basically hear about the example till we exactly come
Yeah,
across with you know uh,
yeah.
answers from the learners itself?
I'll give a really simple example. Uh, I remember when I was in school. So when we used to book tickets, right, reservation tickets, there was one e-mitra kind of a
Yeah.
store in our areas, right? And you used to go there, and the person he had one computer and he used to book tickets for you. Then he used to give you a tickets, right? And it was a really good job. He, like, if the ticket was worth 1,000, he'll take 1,100 for you from you, and like he'll make 100 rupees. So it was a perfect job. You just need to learn how to book tickets, and like easy for you.
Mhm.
Has any one of you seen those stores right now, or the cyber cafes that we used to go? Like, I don't see cyber cafe anywhere, right? And those were really good things, but those things are it was like, for example, if I go to cyber cafe to play the games, right, I can play those games in my phone right now, right?
Right.
So that's the
Right.
improvement of technology, right? So, and this is all part of IT, right? Okay, IT has developed, it has taken over many small roles, right? So that is one thing. And yeah, in case of I'll go with my industry, for example, consulting, right? So there were many software that we were used. Like, most of the work was done on SAP or some other analytical software, but that been totally taken over by other software such as Power BI or Tableau, right? Which are better at analysis, showing the graphs and all, right? So that is one example. Anyone else has an example where you see IT applied in your industry?
Yeah, so we have things like working in insurance company. IT provides automation tools for few tasks to complete the claim within 5 minutes. That's an amazing
Yeah,
example. Then
yeah.
we had Akshata. So Akshata is a civil engineer, and I do my interior thing with SketchUp app and show my
Yeah,
clients how this room will look after all the work is done. Right.
yeah,
So that's an amazing use of IT, Akshita. So Niyati says, sir, initially we didn't have access to various certificates. Now I can study certificates from of even cloud computing from my home. So
yeah,
definitely, with the advent of IT and with the advent of facilities, you are able to get the best of features to your home. So that's very true. That's very true.
yeah. So guys, like, you have seen that thing, but here is like a little bit of negative news, but it's important for us to see this. See, we concluded that job market is changing, but here are some numbers to prove that, and the numbers are scary, right? So as an individual, a person who is working in a job, I am also a little bit of scared with this number, right? So it says that 47% of our total jobs have a chance of disappearing by 2050, right? So in the next 27 years, half of our jobs that are present right now, please focus on this word, the jobs that are present right now will disappear, right? Similarly, automation will destroy 85 million jobs in the world by 2025, and we are in 2023, right? So it's like in 2.5 years, almost, I guess. No, I guess, let's say completion of 2025. So it's 2.5 years. So 85 million jobs would be gone, right? It's a really scary thing, and most of us, maybe in this particular 47% or 85 million people, but focus on one word, guys, that I'm saying here. It's that these are today's job. These all statistics are based on today's job. Automation will destroy 85 million of today's job in the world by 2025, right? So keeping in that thing in mind, do you think your profession will be automated in future, right? Do you think you are a part of these people who are, you know like, do you think like automation taking your job, or any sort of technology okay, you have seen that technology okay, if this technology comes in my field, my work can be automated, my work can be done by machine? Anyone?
Guys, there's this tool available, right? Please go ahead and sign up for it. Do you think automation can actually take up your job in future? Right. While we have answers coming in, John says a yes. Shabazz says a no. Shabazz says government will never be automated.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not. I don't think so.
Okay.
See, most of our
Yagna says
assets the
meta.
government are privatizing, so like it's possible to automate.
Okay. Yes. Yagna says metaverse can take my trainer job. Okay. Vivek says I'm asking same question. Can AI take jobs of data analyst and data scientist, etc.?
We'll come to that. We'll come to that.
Okay. That forms a question then. That forms a question then.
Yeah. So yeah, like, I guess for like, there was some one person who said like government jobs will never be automated. So I think we should take an example of railways, right? I mean, it's the best example. Initially, we used to stand in line for reservation tickets, right? And there was a person specifically who was standing there to give tickets, right? There were many counters, more people, many counters. Now when people are booking tickets online, they just need one counter for people who are going to a station to book tickets, right? So the person who was sitting there at the counter, their job is gone, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah, although the government might not force it, right? But eventually they'll have to. Okay. So let's move to the right. So that was a bad news. So here is a good news, right? So the good news is that when I was saying the bad news, I use the words today's job, right? Today's job basically means if you are a core backend developer, if you're writing similar kind of codes every day, or those kind of jobs, or your job is completely from non-IT, let's say, you know it can be anything, like it can be if you're working in a call center, right? All those things. So those jobs will be gone, but at the same time there will be new jobs generated, right? And the new jobs will be generated on a new resource, right? That is the cycle, right? So if I go 100 years back from now, most of our jobs were related to industries. Why industries? Because at that point our main resource was coal, right? Coming hundreds year ahead to right now, our main resource right now is data, right? So all jobs would be related directly or indirectly to data, right? No matter you're working in marketing, no matter you're working in teaching, you need to have a little knowledge to understand, interpret, or analyze the data, right? And it will be valued, right? So at the same time, our survey says that a new digital economy will create 97 million new jobs, which means we need to quickly adapt, right? So now once we have accepted this thing, uh, if you start studying today, you can get up to 40-80% hike in 8 months and double your income within the first year in IT. This is actually true, right? And I would say this is little underhyped. It's not it's usually more than this, right? Because if you'll keep skill, like if I assume that this is true, right? So 0 to 2 years you're earning 6 to 7, like 6 to 7 LPA. 3 to 5 you are earning 9 to 15, right? So at the end of the 5 years you have 5 years of experience and you have improved yourself a lot, right? When you started
Correct.
from zero, right?
Mhm.
So this is easily possible, people are doing it, and like this is not something which is you know exceptional, right? This is like the general thing, right?
Okay. So,
Okay.
Shubhankit, just like you said, the
Yeah.
salaries are amazing. But one thing that I completely understand, so even if people are still wanting to stick to a profession, right? People are still wanting to, let's say, being a trainer, working as a, let's say, a lead specialist or lead creation specialist, right? It's important for them to upskill even within the same career to remain relevant. That is what you're telling us. So let's say someone wants to say in marketing, they should actually go ahead and upskill within marketing itself with IT tools.
Exactly, right. So for example, if somebody is working in marketing, right,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
they can get a little bit of skilled up in Power BI, right,
Okay.
they can analyze marketing data a lot better than they are doing currently, right? And that
Okay.
will indirectly fuel their marketing journey as well, right? So you will not be just a person who is working in marketing giving marketing ideas. You'll always you'll all you'll also have fact to back up that ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think we should go with these ideas because our data says this, right?
Got it.
So same goes for teaching as well, same goes for advertising as well, and all the other fields. Same goes for product management as well, right? In
Okay.
product management, you take different example, you take you give example of, let's say, app design. Okay, this button should be here or not, right?
Correct.
So now based on the data you can make that decision, right? Okay, in 10 people we tried in 10 people we tried giving this button, in 10 people we tried not giving this button, and these were the results. We analyze the
Got it.
result, right? And to analyze those results, you will have to skill yourself up.
Makes sense. So even to remain relevant within your own domain that you are into, IT skills is a must go. There's no
Yeah.
alternative to that. There's no alternative to that. That's amazing. Makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So we already can observe the IT is taking over the world. Upcoming changes are inevitable, and we want it or not, digitization and automation will continue, right? So now, guys, as of now, we have concluded two things. First of all, IT is for everyone. The other thing is job market is changing, and it's not like you have people are asking you to switch your job completely and start doing coding, right? It's just people want, like, the society, or I would say the industry, ask you to upskill yourself in IT technology, so that you can you can utilize your core domain better, right? Going from a person who is working in marketing as an executive, become a marketing analyst, become a marketing specialist, right? When you say marketing specialist, that person knows both the marketing analytics works, right?
Got it.
So now, once you conclude those two things, we have two options, right? First of option is that you can live in denial, pretend that changes are not happening, right? And like, okay, nothing is happening, it's just like ostrich, right? So so what ostrich does is that when it sees a threat, right, it puts its head under the earth, right? And it's like, if I'm not seeing the threat is not there, right? So that is the idea of ostrich. And that is option one. You can live in denial, but sooner or later, IIT will reach your field. Even if you're working government job, trust me, this will happen. And you'll, in 10 years, you'll lose your job, and you will be, at that point, you'll have to start, right? You cannot sit jobless. You have to earn money, right? So at that point, you'll have to upskill yourself. And by that time, lot many people will be ahead of you, right? This is the first option. Second option is that accept the changes are happening and go along with the changes, right? If you see that, okay, I am doing marketing or I am doing teaching, and I'm generating this data, right? And you're aware, okay, this data somehow, not as of now, but somehow this data can be analyzed, and my teaching and my marketing work would have been made better, right? So accept that thing, learn how to analyze the data. It will not be much trouble, you'll get plenty of resources to do that, and become more equipped in your job, right? That is the second option, right? So the best time to move in IT was yesterday, and another best time is now. It's a really good thing. So now I'll leave it to the audience, which option will they choose, option one, option two.
So, guys, do you stay
Option
like an
one was
ostrich
in
denying the threat,
yeah.
or do you actually take up that challenge and move forward? Right. Please give me your own options. So, will you want to prefer and go with option one or option two? So, Shubham, Pooja, go in with option two. Guys, there's also a poll that you can sign up, right? So we've got a 10%, 11% people who still are with option one, and 83% people who say option two.
So 83% people say the option two, right?
Yeah, so as of now, it is stabilized to around 90% of the people saying that option two, they should basically go ahead and look forward to basically upskilling themselves.
Guys, if you're going with option one, then you should plan an early retirement in 10 years, because there will be nothing for you to do in 10 years. So try to gather as much money as you can in 10 years, right? And 10 years is too much time, to be honest, right? It would be less than that, right? Because it's, the pace at that IT move is not linear, right? We moved from telephone to wireless phones, let's say, in 20 years, and then we moved from wireless phone to smartphones in 10 years, right?
Yes,
So
correct.
that gap will always decrease. Okay, so majority of option people choose option 2, which is a positive sign. So now, once we have decided ki we have to go into IT, let's see what are the main fields into IT. And when I say IT, this is like some of all of my relatives think that I do is I'm a software developer, right? And to be honest, I don't pay a lot of attention to explain them that I'm a data scientist. Okay, yeah, I'm a software developer, right? So, but it's not like that, guys. Uh, and for to understand this, let's take an example of soccer, right? So, soccer, basically football, is that you have a lot of people in your team, right? So, yeah, so you have a coach, you have a team manager, you have a forward player, you have a defender and goalkeeper, right? And all of their roles are important, but a forward player cannot take a role of a defender, and a defender cannot take a role of a forward player, and there's specific roles to them, right? So same thing goes into an IT field, right? So you can say somebody who is working on the app, somebody who is designing the app, somebody who is working on the logic of the app. All of those roles are important, and together, when they come together, then only we see a final product, right? So developer is just one such role. And when you say developer, someone who is doing like core coding stuff, right? And we'll see, like, how which particular role will fit you, right? So like football team needs different people. You can't win just one forward player, simple. Just only a developer will not solve your problem. I see this issue lot in consulting. So what happened in consulting, you have to engage with client as well, right? So when you're speaking with client, you don't go too much of a technical stuff. Ki, yeah, I made this thing, I have to use machine learning and that algorithm and that whole things. That person is running his business for 20 years. He doesn't want to listen to your mathematics stuff, right? He want to listen to a business understanding part, right? So that is something a consultant will do, right? So you need a developer, you need a consultant in in a consulting field. So similarly, the conclusion is that you need to first understand your talent, and based on what is your strength, right? For example, somebody you told in the chat is from economics background, right? So ideally they should go for a financial analyst. If they're going in a field of data science, they should go into field of financial analyst so that they can utilize the economic learning, right? When I'm working as a data scientist, my current the industry that I'm involved in is oil and well analytics, right? That is energy. So that is somewhat related to metallurgy, right? So I can utilize my metallurgy learning there. It's not that much, but at least it's not getting wasted, right? So that is the thing, guys. You have to understand your own talent. And for this, again, my suggestion would to you would be to get a little bit of mentorship in this, or get advice in this. Okay, which particular field should you choose, right? Because as when as a student, when you'll go, the only thing that we see is comfort and salary, which is not the only two things, right? There are many steps involved
Very
in
true.
between, and your mentors will help you in that, right?
Mhm.
So I think this is for you.
So yes, Shubhankit, I'll just take up a few seconds here, guys. It's a very simple reminder. You find a lot of options, a lot of a lot of links here on your chat box, wherein you can go ahead and register yourself for this absolutely free course, right? So one lucky winner of people who fill in and stay towards the end, right? It's important you fill in this and you stay towards the end gets to win a completely free course into a job guarantee batch, right? And completely free of cost. So go ahead and please apply, right? Time is running by. Do not take up a lot of chances. Go ahead and apply, right?
Okay.
So Shubhankit, one very important discussion is we promised as a part of the agenda of the webinar that we'll also be talking about how are various stages of an IT product created, right? And how does it make relevant? So you talked about being a goalkeeper or or a forward player or a defender, right? How does that signify the various stages here in IT product, and how is that useful? If we could talk about it a little.
Yeah. So IT product is a little confusing word. So we'll take a little more simpler word. Let's say
Okay.
app, right? Stage of creating an app, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say a common app, or let's say phone pay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are many stages of creating a particular app or an IT product. We are taking an example of phone pay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's stage of idea, and where you just have an idea. Okay, let's make something like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then a stage of design. Okay, I'll just draw it on pen and paper. Okay, my app will look like this. It will, somebody will click here, it will go there. All of those logic. Okay, if I select this item, it will go to my cart. On, and if I select this cart icon, it will take me to my cart. All item will be there.
Uh-huh.
Then the development part. Okay, all these logics will be made understand to the computer, and to make computer understandings, you have to write the code. Then the testing part. Okay, once a person has written the code, there are many things that can many inputs that people can write for, right? For
Correct.
example, I have taken a column of age, right?
Okay.
And ideally that age should be 1 to 100 at max, right? Or let's say 150 at max, right?
Mm-hmm.
For exceptional cases. But it cannot be 1000, it cannot be 2000, right?
Correct.
So
Mm-hmm.
at that point you need testing. Okay, is my app giving correct answers to these small things? Then the maintenance. Okay, once your app is out there, uh, millions of people are using it, there will be a lot of traffic involved. Here I'll give example of Geo Cinema, right? So people are watching IPL right now. So in initial days of IPL, Geo Cinemas was breaking, right? Because it didn't had experience of having these much users on one page,
Correct. Mm-hmm.
right? But they did something and now it's working fine, right? So that is a maintenance part. The other is promotion part. So for example, again, if you take an example of phone pay or Flipkart or anything, you see advertisements, you see hoardings, right? So where to put the hoarding, right? What advertisement should be there? What is the tagline, right? Or basically the marketing part that all goes into promoting. And once all of these things are done, your app is out there, you will get data, right? And that data would be used to enrich your app. Okay, let's now make our app better. Our data says that most of the people are ordering from this restaurant, so let's put this restaurant in the top, right?
Okay.
So that is coming from analytics. So these are all the steps. We'll see details of it one by one. So uh, first of all, these are the roles that will you will be working on, right, if you are involved in this project. So ideas are basically project manager and product manager. And these roles sound really comfortable to people, because coding is not required, only idea is required, planning is required. But this is
Hmm.
quite extensive thing. You need a proper training to become a product manager. It's a really
Okay.
valued role, but it requires a lot of hard work to gain. UI, UX and UI designer, again, most of our people, what I see is, coming from art background, they try to go in
Correct.
this field, and totally worth
Correct.
it, right? Because they know a
Yes.
lot about this. And the development, major people who are working in coding is development, front end, back end, and mobile developer. So front end is what your user is seeing, back end is what logic that you have written, right?
Uh-huh.
And then testing, again, QA, quality assurance engineers. And maintenance, your support and system admins, who basically maintain, okay, where the error is coming, what what particular code is not being run, those kind of things. Promoting, your digital marketing and IT sales manager. Analytics is your data analyst and data scientist, right? So there's nothing
Okay.
more. So if take an example of Flipkart. So stakeholder generation idea, project manager plans the development process, distributes, makes task available, and calculate developer budget, right? So like, somebody thought the idea, they planned it on like sheet, okay, this much time it should take, this much money it should take. Later, this is just a demo of it. Then idea to prototype, you make a simple UI, okay, this is how it should
Yeah.
look.
A
And
basic
there would be
example
logic
of what
behind
we
it.
basically talked about. Correct. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Then from idea to prototype, the customer wants to buy a certain thing, and like, it should be easy to navigate. You're checking, okay, when you should click here, you should go on that particular page. All of those
Mm-hmm.
ideas coming in. And development finally, so the code to redirect from one page to another, that will come under development part.
Okay.
When you are adding all of those items, the there would be a final sum, okay, sum of all these items, discount applied to each of them. There would be a
Mm-hmm.
code that will take a sum of it, right? So
Okay.
that will come on the backend developer code. And then it would be prototype to product, right? Finally, right, your product will be deployed, right? Then it would be a lot of user propose to order via mobile. So mobile developers, like, this would be additional thing, okay. Now this will again come from people who are from working analytics, okay. What we have observed from market trends, that if your app is working on mobile rather than just a website, will have more customers, right? This will come from
Right.
analytics, right? Now
Correct.
it's a general thing, but initially it came from analytics. And
Okay.
yeah, testing, we saw what testing is. And like, after adding curtains in your cart, this is a small thing, right? So for example, I'll take a simple example. So let's say I'm ordering from Swiggy Instamart, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like, all the stores near me are closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it can give me two errors. It can give me one error, that it's currently give, that oh no, the Instamart stores are closed, please try after some time. It could be this
Okay.
error, or it could be something like code error 123, totally code error, right?
Okay.
So what you want to show to your customer, the customer, like, if I am getting an error in my code on my UI, as a customer, I don't want to see the code, right?
Correct.
Because I won't understand the code, right? I just want to see, okay, the app is not working, it should it, right? The app is not working, network not connected. Or in LinkedIn, if you see, right, in LinkedIn it gives a really good error, it's not you, it's us, right?
Correct.
It's really
Yes.
good, yeah. So those error messages, right? So these all, this all are collaborative efforts, I would say. And yeah, maintenance again, as I gave the geocinema example. uh, like, if you don't test properly, you'll have proper in like problem in maintenance. But the main slide I would see people should focus here on is the one which had all roles related to it, right? Roles for each example. I need to go back to that slide because it's really important. I hope that's okay,
They're just
Akshi.
there. Yeah. 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 We're just there. We're just there.
Yeah. So this is an important slide, guys. So these will be roles that you will be working on, and trust me, all of those roles require some part of IT. Even if you're working in product manager, it's good to have a skill of visualizations and little bit of data management, data analysis. If you're working as a data analyst or data scientist, you need to know core data science. For digital marketer and IT sales manager, you need to understand like the one part of it, that the business part of it. But if you can make good good use of numbers as well, that will add up to your job, right? So just take a good look at all of these roles that are there. And most of the roles, all of these roles kind of are safe roles, but it's just how well are you equipped with them, right?
Okay.
So if you are like mediocre at your job and any of this role, even if you're mediocre data analyst, still your job is not safe, right? Reason is that a lot of data analyst work is also being automated. And I have that question in my mind that somebody I guess asked, right? Ki, is data scientist job safe or not? And I guess that's the first question I'll answer in Q&A, because that is a really good question. I think are we to the Q&A part, Ikshit?
Yes, we would be there soon, but I think we'll have a lot of questions before we can reach actually while we ask you for Q&A, because our learners have been asking a lot of questions and I have done a cumulative
Yeah, so analytics part,
analysis about
I'll
it.
just take one more part of analytics part, because this
Okay,
is my role, so I'll take this one.
sure.
So there are two kind of role, data analyst and data scientist. And like this is a complete big story. What is the difference between analyst and a scientist? What is a business analyst, right?
Okay,
Uh, but majorly, I would say that it's all difference between how much maths and how much business and how much coding you know. Different combination of all these things makes up for a role of data analyst, data scientist, or business analyst, right?
okay,
So what data analysts do, they collect data, they analyze the data, find any patterns or any insight that they can, and relate those insight to value, right? It's just not numbers, right? I can just find okay, phone pay customers are most of the customers are in NCR region. There are less customers on let's say in NCR region, there are more customers in Delhi and less customers in Gurgaon, right? So now I have to
got it.
relate it to money value, right? Okay, there are less customers in Gurgaon, but money wise, the payment wise, it's almost equal. So what does this mean, right? So I have to find
Got it.
answers to those questions. That is the role of a data analyst and data scientist. And
Okay,
yeah, data scientist, when you're working data scientist, you also go for predictive things, right? Machine learning, deep learning, those technologies also come in,
got it.
right? So yeah, that was the Flipkart example, guys. It was not. It's not like it's just like it's taken a little bit of UI
Yes,
experience
Shubhankit.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Please go on. Please go on. You were telling us something.
yeah. So just take an example of Flipkart. That there's one more example, right? For example, if I want to buy something on Flipkart, I check it out and I just leave it there. I don't put it in my cart. I just stay a lot of. I just spend a lot of time on that particular item, and then I leave there, right?
Okay,
So they can now mostly there's little two things will happen. First of all, initially it will give me notification कि, hey, do you still want to buy it? And most cases, what I have observed, like as a user, is that if I even don't open that notification, it will most probably give me a discount of it. It will say ki prices are dropped on this product, right? Or it will give me a recommendation of a cheaper option of similar kind of product, right?
yes.
So these things are coming from a data analyst, guys, right? So yeah, that is a true. That is a harsh truth that the cool things in IT are being done by data scientists and analysts, right? That
That
is
is
why
amazing.
most people are rushing towards
Uh,
it.
Shubhankit, while you were talking about the different stages and how IT has entered the industry, a lot of the
Mhm.
learners were wanting to basically understand, sir, what is the best profession for me? Right? What is the best profession for me? How do I choose? I come in from sales. Which one should I choose? I am a third year student. How do I look forward to it? I'm just completed my class 12. Should I go in for software engineering? Should I go for data analysis? And questions like that. Now, I have a hypothesis here. I would want to you to validate this or give me your inputs. What if? What if? Now there are two ways to look at it, Shubham. Right? Right? To be able to understand what is good for you, first of all, the most important thing is how do you get to know that? Do you simply read about it and that is how you know that this is good for you? Right? Do you actually do some projects around it, or you get to know
Mhm.
it is it good for you? Or you get one of your, maybe siblings or maybe some of your elder cousins to basically help you understand that. And maybe once you understand that, how do you know that if
Mhm.
what you like is basically industry wise trending, and that is also good for you in terms of getting ahead and starting up with, right? So accordingly, is it feasible if we create a program right? Is it feasible if
Yeah.
we create a program wherein in the initial phase we basically give you exposure to live projects only in different fields? So let's say for a week I give you exposure to projects in data analysis. For week two, I give you exposure to projects in data science, quality testing, right? Or maybe front end or back end. Do you think the process of choosing what is best for you becomes easier?
Like it cannot be even more, like it cannot be better, I would say, right?
Okay.
Uh, because that is, you see what happens that, in today's time, what happened that a lot of hype is created over one particular role or two particular roles, and
Yes.
because students are innocent and everyone is desperate to get a job, right? Because we want a job,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So you go into one particular direction, and then after a while you feel lost, right?
Yes.
And then you think, this is not my field, right? This is not something I
Mm-hmm.
want to do for long term. So
Okay.
obviously the thing that you said is totally reasonable, and that will help students a lot, that will help the whole community a lot actually, right? Because it
Got
will
it.
also not just make good, good, good professionals, it will also make people who are who actually want to do that work, and now they're doing it,
Got
right?
it.
So it will make happy professionals as well. Okay, I trained for
Amazing.
this thing, I'm working in this field, and I'm happy right now.
Right. So you
Yeah.
get to understand while you do projects around different fields, you get to understand what are you good at, what is
Yeah.
available as a job within the industry, and you basically get to specialize in that. That's amazing. Great,
Yeah.
great, great. So guys, please stay tuned. Please stay tuned. We are moving ahead with Q&A with Shubhankit. But stay tuned. I would basically want to talk about how do you choose your favorite field, or how do you choose the field which would be relevant to you, right? Stay tuned and we'll talk about it, right? So, guys, before we go ahead and take up the Q&A and you will have your given your questions, right? One last chance to book yourself an amazing session with one of our counselors wherein we can help you find a job of your liking, right? And there's this amazing 43% discount available to it, which is literally unbelievable. Unbelievable. Please go ahead and register yourselves, right? Go ahead and register yourselves and avail this discount while you get to discuss all your ideas, right? Again, a basic reminder, do not forget to register yourselves for this free course. One lucky winner who registers will get an absolutely free course into our job guarantee batch starting in a few weeks. Right? Go ahead and register yourself. Yes, Banyo, it's an unbelievable discount, and that is something which you would rarely get. So please go ahead and register. Right? While you do that, I would move on with the Q&A with Shubhankit. So Shubhankit, while we were discussing things, Manoj in my team actually helped me combine a few questions together. Right? So I'll go on with the questions one on one. So this is question one. This is a question from Ekta. She says, "I know AI won't destroy jobs, but do you think AI will dominate IT jobs in future?" I think Shubhankit, we cannot hear you.
Yeah, so sorry about that. I was mute. So,
Perfectly, please.
absolutely, Akshit, it will happen. It will just not dominate. It will take over, in my sense, because
Okay.
currently AI is hard to apply.
Okay.
It is only limited to people who know AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know deep learning, so it's easier for me to understand, okay, how this thing is happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what technology has told us as that as time goes on, these things will become easier to access,
Okay.
right? So it will not just dominate, it will take over, right?
Okay.
That is like the sure thing that will happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
But
think that answers the
that for
question.
very sure, that for very sure will take at least the next 30 years, 40 years of time before that actually happens. Is that correct?
30-40 years is too much, I would say. But there would be essence of human thing involved, right? For example, in case of
Perfectly.
marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
There would be tools automated. The way that you are doing marketing would be automated, but the ideas would
Automated.
remain same, right?
Got it.
Because
Got
see,
it.
AI take ideas from experiences.
Right.
That's the thing.
It
Whatever
evolves.
happens till now, yeah, whatever happens till now, it will give you the best possible thing. Okay, this is
Mm-hmm.
what humans are being doing, and if you want to do this thing, this is the best thing, right? So
Okay.
AI has become an expert in giving you the ideas from like what has happened till now, right?
Correct.
But what humans are capable of, we are generating of new ideas, right? We can
Uh-huh.
make something that has never happened till now,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So that is one thing that AI cannot do,
Understood.
right?
Understood. Uh, so this an amazing question. This comes in from Ekansh. AI will soon take up the webinar jobs too through chatbots. What do you say?
Might be, it might be, but it will not have people who have experiences, right? It will take you, ki, yeah,
Uh-huh.
this will happen, and you cannot relate to AI. That was the thing.
Ah,
That will
got
happen.
it.
You
Makes a lot of
cannot
sense.
relate to
Again.
AI, right? Because you have not been in a position of AI,
Uh-huh.
right? But you have been in a like you are currently, like people who are in the seminar are mostly people who like well, I was in their position. That's the thing. I was in their
Okay.
position, but that will not happen with AI, right?
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Perfectly. That answers this question. I'll move on to the next question, Shubhankit. This is the question from Shraddha. Shraddha says, Sir, I also want to become a data scientist or an analyst or a database administrator. How should I study for it?
Shraddha, I guess there are some core skill that you should start with, right? So just I'm not sure what currently you are doing, but if you just start with these skills of SQL, Python, SQL and Python, I guess a little bit of Excel, right, and a little bit of Power BI, right? So these are some core skills that you can start with. You can get resources to them easily. Many resources are there to get the resources for this, and then start learning these resources. So once you'll start learning these resources, you'll get a hang of industry, ki what's happening out there, and you will
Mhm.
see ki, okay, what person or like what people who are actually working in this role are doing. Get the skills of
Correct.
that, and then you have to make a good resume and start applying. You'll get the job. There's
Oh,
a lot of
amazing.
job vacancies for data scientists and analysts.
Okay. That sounds motivational, rather, I'll say. Right. Moving on to the next question, Shubhankit. It says, this is a question from Arya Agarwal. She says, I am from a biology background. Can I pursue IT now?
Yeah. So again, see, I can tell you for the field of data scientist,
Hmm.
40% of vast part come from business, right? And to
Okay.
be a good data scientist, you have to give a lot of time to understand the business, right?
Okay.
So, for example, if I'm working in healthcare analytics, right,
Hmm.
I need to give a lot of time to understand the healthcare business.
Okay.
Okay, what is this disease, what are the reasons of it, right? All of those things, and then I have to
Okay.
understand mathematics and coding part as well, right?
Okay.
So if a person is from healthcare background and he learns a little bit of, he or she learns some technologies of analytics, right, they can
Hmm.
easily go into healthcare analytics, and they'll be highly valued there. Why? Because the
Got
people
it.
who are already working in healthcare analytics, they're good at analytics part, but they don't know the healthcare part, right?
Uh-huh.
So expertise will come in that particular role. So if your field is completely opposite to IT, right, my suggestion would be to start with an analytics part, right?
Okay.
Because understanding data analytics a little bit comparatively easy to becoming a backend developer. This is what I have observed, right? If
Hmm.
you have started learning core C or Java, right, it's more easier to start with SQL, because that is
Okay.
most easier language. And then
Hmm.
then you will get a hang of it. You can learn Python or any other language, but it will be easier for you to start with SQL if you're completely new to code.
Got it. Got it. Makes a lot
Hmm.
of sense. That was amazing. Thank you for that, Shubhankit. I'll move on to this next question. This comes in from Shubham Gaikwad. Sir, a person who doesn't have technical background, how can he compete with someone with a coding experience?
So no need to compete, right? Like you have to make your own space, right? There are a lot of companies out there. There are a lot of jobs out there, right?
Okay.
It goes. I mean, some people might say, there have been recent layoffs and all of those things, but
Hmm.
that is because of recession and all, right? If you'll see,
Hmm.
there are a lot of companies, there are a lot of startups registering every day, right? And there are a lot of jobs, right? So don't need to compete with anyone. Just
Okay.
compete with yourself. Okay, 1 month ago I didn't knew any sort of coding. After 1 month, I know this much of coding. Next month, I know this much of coding, right? If you're
Okay.
seeing an improvement in yourself, you'll get the job, right? Because you don't have to compete with that person,
Okay.
right? And,
You
what
compete
like
with your own self rather.
exactly, right? If I say, like, I want to compete with somebody who is, has done a computer science background, like who is from CS background, has completed a BTech from IIT Bombay CS, right? There's no point of competing, right? I'll make my
Got it.
own way, right? That's the thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Answers a lot of questions, I think, a lot of multiple questions that were asked here, right? There's this question from Freeman. He says, how to do career transformation from being a Java developer to a data scientist.
It will be really easy for you, right? First of all, you know, for people who are working in data science, the biggest problem is that they have a fear of coding, and that is the biggest roadblock from them to understand. Like when they start learning coding, right? The
Okay.
biggest roadblock is to get a lot of irritation while you start to learn code. Right? That's the biggest
Mm-hmm.
problem. And if you're already working as a Java developer, you know like the logic behind code, and if you know Java well, it will be a lot easier for you to learn Python. Why I'm saying Python? Because most of our data science work is being done in Python and R. Both of them are programming languages, but it majorly in Python, right? So it would be easier for you to transition compared to other people, because you already know the coding part. You just have to get a good hang of a mathematics part.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Now, in response to the previous question that you were answering, how is it easier for someone to transform and what should they learn for being into IT? There's this question from Satakshi. Uh, what should I say to the recruiters why I wanted to join an IT company, especially coming in from a non-coding background? And Shwankit, here I would want to add, does it even affect? I mean, are the recruiters even concerned on what background do you come in from?
Uh, it actually based on company to company, right?
Okay.
In generally there are many factors actually involved, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
go from someone's referral, you have a good image, right? If you're just going out there, competing with a lot of freshers who are from IT, like who are from CS background,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get a little bit of disadvantage. So there are many factors involved, but I can say one thing, that the biggest strength is skill, right? If I have
Okay.
two people, I given them an assignment to complete, and after the assignment only they'll get to get the interview, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you can complete the assignment, you're going to the interview, right? Now the interviewer
Okay.
asks you, "Okay, why do you like?" So now, first of all, you have made to the interview. That is the first thing, right?
Yeah.
So you don't need to think about, okay, will he prefer me over other person or not? You have came to the interview, so it's now your only role is to, right, impress the interviewer one way or the another, right? So now what you have to do is you have to answer the question, and as you said, the question is that why do you want to go into an IT field from non-IT field, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So here everyone has to have their own story, right?
Okay.
You asked me the same question in the start, okay, why I moved from metallurgy to IT, and my
Correct.
reason was that I wanted to create an impact, right?
Mm-hmm.
And data science gives me that strength, right? If I have my laptop, I have a data file, I can create something out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I can show people, I can see, okay, I have created this thing, right?
Okay.
This thing is not possible for me if I'm working in material science.
Okay.
Similarly, if somebody is going for, let's say, healthcare, right, or let's say commerce, or let's say any other background, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have to have a really strong reason to go into an IT, and that reason should come on your own, right?
Okay.
And to be honest, if you are actually willing to go into IT, just sit back and think about it a bit, okay, why I want to do this. You'll get a logical reason, right? And then interviewers
Good.
understand it, right? You can clearly say, yeah, I was working in, let's say, teaching, and that particular role doesn't impress me that much. I
Mm-hmm.
don't see growth in that, right? I don't see any advancement in that particular field. Those kind of reason also works, because interview is also a person, right?
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's your skill that counts, right? And you'll actually have to impress your recruiter through your skills because ultimately it's a particular job that they want to get done and does
Yeah,
not depend what background you're coming from. The more
yeah,
efficiently you can do the job for them, the easier it is for them. Correct?
yeah,
Have I understood this correctly?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Perfectly, perfectly. So there's this amazing question which comes in from Sachita. Uh, will recruitment also become automated in the future?
It's being a lot till now. Like, it had already happened, right? So
Mhm.
last year, I guess Accenture hired a lot of people in metaverse,
Okay.
right? So, and it was a big move. It has like twofold values. First of all, was to create a good image on a social, like on the corporate side, that we are including metaverse in our company. The
Hmm.
second one was to see how it goes, right? So they did all the onboarding process through metaverse, right? So it's
Okay.
totally possible, and it's being happening right now, and it'll advance a lot in future. But there's some
Okay.
part which AI cannot do. Let's say salary negotiation, or
Hmm.
a little bit of judgment when some HR have done a proper course of psychology. They judge you as a person, right?
Correct.
Those things will stay there.
Okay. Okay. Makes a lot of sense, and that's a good answer. I'll move on to the last few questions. Right, I'll move to the last few questions. Is a question from Pooja. According to you, which core public profession is doing good in the market now, and even in upcoming 10, 20 years? So something that would remain
The
relevant for the next 10, 20 years.
There are two roles that I see. The first one is of actually three role I see. So first one is of full
Okay.
stack developer, right? So
Hmm.
full stack developer means that you know both the front end, back end, and the logic of the code, right? So
Okay.
you can, if I give you a logic, I want to build something like this, right?
Hmm.
You can make it for me. That is one role,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Second thing also product manager, right? uh, which is quite heavily used because there are a lot of people involved in a team, there are a lot of tasks involved in a team, and
Got
you
it.
need a person to plan things, right?
Okay.
And assign work, right? It's not a normal manager role, it's a product manager role, right? So you
Okay.
also have to see the analytics of a data, and you have to make decisions on the basis of that, and you have to keep in mind of both the the business part, your product part, and
Hmm.
also the the कि will जो आप सोच रहे हो कर पाओगे कि नहीं, right?
Got it. Uh-huh.
Is that thing feasible or not, right? So you have to
Yes.
see all these three things, right? So that is the second role. Third role is data scientist or data analyst also, right? These roles, again, the reason being that there's a lot of data involved, right? Every day we are generating data, a lot of data. Companies will utilize that data. Even for,
Correct.
like, I have seen data scientist roles in Haldiram, right? I
Hmm.
think it
Hmm.
cannot go lower than that, right? So
Got it.
even like food companies are using data scientists, right?
Yes. Yes.
uh,
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Very
so
correct. Yeah.
yeah, so these three roles I would say: data scientist, product manager, and full stack developer.
These are some of the roles which are there to stay for the next 10, 20 years. Amazing.
Exactly.
Shubhankit,
Mhm.
that was the last of the questions that I wanted to ask of you. Uh, that was an amazing discussion that we had, a very open, candid kind of a discussion. Uh, before we can actually expect you to come in the next time and talk to us again, any final set of words that you want to say to the learners that are still there?
I'll just say one thing that as a student, our role is not to waste time on courses much, right? Like
Hmm.
as a student, our role is to start learning, right?
Okay.
And every day if you're taking a lot of time to start learning, I'm not just thinking enroll in any course, but make that decision faster and start learning, right? I've
Okay.
seen people wasting time to find right course for 6 months,
Hmm.
right? In 6 months they could have taken any course and done what the course
Done well.
promises,
Exactly.
right?
Hmm.
Right,
Hmm.
so that is what will be my thing. Don't waste time, right? Just pick up one thing and start learning, and try to find mentors, right? Good mentor will help you a lot, because a mentor will tell you when you are ready, right? Because
Correct.
a lot of courses are out there, which names themselves as specialization course, but they are not even the basic, right?
Okay.
And when a person completes a specialization course, they have a certificate of it, they think that they have mastered that skill, right? so
Okay.
so at that point you need a mentor to tell you when you are ready,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So find a mentor and just still stay happy with the learning, right? Try to don't force yourself to learn, right?
Got
Okay,
it.
I have to do this, otherwise I will not make money, right? Enjoy the learning process, and everything will come in place. Like, that's worked for me, so I don't see why
Amazing.
it will not work for you.
Work for
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. Shubhankit, thank you so much for your wise words. Uh,
Yeah.
and that was amazing. I think a lot of us could get a lot of answers. Looking forward to having you again. And yes,
Yeah.
again, a very good evening to you. Good evening to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Chit.
Thank you, Shubhankit. Thank you for being here with us. Guys, that was Shubhankit, uh, one of, I think, a very ideal person to actually talk about how do you transition from a non-IT, non-coding, background to a coding background. He could share his journey with us and basically talk about how do you do that, right? And you got to hear it on your own. I feel a lot of questions have been answered, right? And from there, I had promised you I would talk about how to help you choose the right profession, and that is what I would do now, right? But before that, uh, finally, one final chance for you to register yourself for this free course. So someone asked, is this course completely free? No. So one lucky winner of all the people who register will actually get to win a free course. For the others who do not win, you have an amazing 43% discount on the courses. What is the course and how do we train you? We'll talk about that, right? So don't waste a lot of time. Please go ahead and register. Krupali, I will talk about it. A lot of discounts available, right? So if you see through here, you get an amazing 43% discount. That is 7,980 per month for 12 months of no cost EMI, right? Let's talk about it. How to move to IT, right? Becomes one of the most relevant questions, and more relevant than that is how do you choose the right set of jobs and skill for yourself, right? How do you make sure that the job that you're choosing for yourself or the course that you're choosing for yourself remains relevant, right? So we'll talk about it. How does it work for most of the courses out there? So I am very sure if you've done a little exploration about around the courses, you might have found a lot of courses, right? They offer something direct. So let's say they offer courses in data science, back end, front end, full stack. So you buy a course from an online institute without knowing if the profession suits you, right? And while you are actually doing the course, you exactly go ahead and quit in the first few weeks because you basically do not like it. You took it up because it was in trend, right? And the end result is more than the money that you lose out on time. And in most of the cases, in 9 out of the 10 cases, is what we have seen, you give up on your dream in moving into an IT job, right? You see Amir Khan there, the sad Amir that he is, right? A solution from coding invaders. What if I could tell you that that we can combine three things together, wherein for the first time we can help you find the right profession. And believe me, this finding profession does not comes in with theory-based classes. For the first month, we give you live, practical, one-on-one classes through which we basically help you find the right set of courses. So let's say the first week is dedicated to data science, right? We do a live project. The second week is dedicated to data analysis. We do a live project, front end, back end, quality automation. So five different topics. We do 5 different weeks, and we basically go ahead and train you on those topics. We give you an exposure of how those topics work. And once you are done with that, you get to choose which topic do you want to specialize in, right? Guys, I repeat, you get to choose which topic do you want to specialize in. And in approximately next 8 months of time, we help you specialize into that and thereafter sign you up for an on paper job guarantee program. Yes, you heard it correctly. That is an on paper job guarantee program, right? How does this course work? Those who want to get, what is the ideal audience, what is the ideal set of learners for this course? Those who want to get a guaranteed entry into IT, you should go ahead and actually apply for yourself and join in this course. People who want to change careers but do not know what profession of IT do you want to start with, right? This would be an amazing course for you. This course would be amazing for freshers who are looking for better career opportunities in IT, right? Who are not very sure of which way to go, right? Right? So let's say you've started with 6 months of being into a BPO job. Now you want to shift to IT because you've seen your friend doing really well or your cousin doing really well, right? Krupali, yes, you're living in UK. Can I do it? Yes, Krupali, you can still do it for sure, right? Anybody who wants a stable, in-demand job and a higher income should definitely go ahead and talk about this course. I know when you hear me speak all of this, there are a lot more questions that you get, but guys, it would be easier if you can connect one-on-one with our counselors, with our mentors, and they'll actually be able to talk to you about it, right? This is a unique 3-in-1 course package. This is a unique 3-in-1 course package wherein I'll repeat, for the first 4 weeks, you get to choose a profession through psychometric tests, one-on-one live sessions. We actually help you look into what does the profession look like, right? And once you do that, our mentors help you select what's best for you, right? Our mentors help you select what's best for you. And in the next 8 months, you specialize in that. And at the end of this course, you get a 100% job guarantee, right? And yes, guys, when I say 100% job guarantee, that's an on paper job guarantee that I'm talking about, right? The amazing part. So that's what I was talking about with Shubhankit was. So when you choose a profession for yourself, we help you understand and we help you go ahead with what you like. So let's say you like a different profession, right? What are you good at? What are your skills good at? And what is in demand? So we make an intersection of it, and that is how we suggest. We do it through a number of tests that you conduct throughout the first 4 weeks of the program, right? What are the professions that you choose? Just like I told you, we talk about data analysis, we talk about data science, we talk about front end, we talk about back end development, and we talk about QA and engineer. We'll expose you to all the five and then help you choose the best that gets you the best of the salaries and the best of the future prospects, best of the careers going ahead. No, Krupali, these are not full-time courses. These courses are ideally defined for people who are already into work. So you can definitely go ahead with it in case you're already studying or actually want to do it part-time. That's completely feasible, right? Right. The best part about these courses are completely user friendly, a beginner friendly. So when I say beginner friendly, what do I mean? So let's say I'm talking about data analysis and we're talking about Excel or Google Sheets. We in fact also start with teaching you how to open up a Google Sheet. Right now guys, I think you understand how easy it is to open up a Google Sheet, but we'll even start from there, right? And we'll talk about there are large number of vacancies on the market relating to these professions, right? The salary ranges from an amazing 5 lakhs to 15 lakhs to 20 lakhs. And just like Shubhankit said, the salary range that is mentioned on the slides are on the lower side, so we can expect a better salary, right? And these professions will be in demand in the next 15, 20 years. And believe me, if you start today, 15, 20 years of work is more than you would want to do, right? We've talked about the structure of the program, so I'll not put up a lot of time here, right? We let you master a profession from scratch in the next 8 months after 1 month of process, right? And teach you only those tools which employers need to make you job ready. So try and understand what if we can basically train you given a job description. So we have a job description and we train you on that. It's that kind of customized courses to suit to the market needs, right? Every profession you choose is taught using a unique methodology. So we have a simulator-based system. What is simulator-based system? It basically talks about, let's say, it simulates a real-life situation for you. So let's say I become a front-end developer. Every situation that I would face as a front-end developer, I basically get to experience that on the simulator, so that when I actually go ahead and apply for it into the industry, it becomes very, very easy for me. It's like an everyday job for me. Propali, if you have already filled in your details, right? Alright then, please fill in your details. Please put in your number. The team would get in touch with you, right? How do you study? So on the weekend, you have these amazing webinars of these amazing professionals that come together to train you, right? And thereafter, you take up tasks. There are different tasks. Just like I said, there is a simulator-based platform. You take up different tasks that you solve during the weekdays. And while you solve those tasks, right, it simulates a real-time IT company. It simulates a real-time task or a project which has to be solved in terms of task deadlines and KPIs, right? Just like you would do on a real job. So you're basically preparing. It feels like you're basically working on that job every day, right? It's a mentor-based one-on-one learning. So let's say you're doing a project and you face a problem, you can connect with your mentor one-on-one, right? You can connect with them on chats in case needed through one-on-one calls, and that's how you process, right? You have this amazing 100% job guarantee program that is available, wherein when I say job guarantee, that is job guarantee on paper, right? How do we guarantee you jobs, or how can we guarantee jobs, right? So we know about employers who want junior IT specialists. You will only, so what if we could actually train you on stuff which you exactly require? So see, when you talk about field of IT, let's say data science is a huge, huge field. You cannot train on everything, even if you sit there for about 2 years. So what if someone could actually streamline things for you, right? I'll repeat. What if someone could streamline things for you and talk about the topics or essences, which is very much required, right? That is what we do, and that's how we make sure you are relevantly trained for the future that is upcoming, right? Along with that, we help you make approximately 300 to 1,000 job applications in our partner hiring companies, and we don't stop unless you get a job, right? Don't you think that's amazing? When you apply to these many companies, the probability of you getting a job becomes manifold higher, right? How do we get you placed? So there's a dedicated careers team available. They help you optimize your resume, right? They send your resumes to 100 plus hiring partners. You've got this amazing set of portfolio projects that you already have. You get a lot of mock screening calls, take assignment preparations, right? Plus 300 job applications via our application services. That's a whole lot of things to do, and that easily ensures. So you find a list of companies: Freshworks, Tiger, Fractal, Eaglytics, Dream11, OnGill. These are some of the companies where our alumni are already placed and working well. right? Right? Don't spend a lot of time, guys. Let's start your career now. I know there'll be a lot of questions, a lot of hesitations, but believe me, you would not know if this is right for you unless you are a part of it, right? Believe me, this is not, you would never know if this is the right thing for you unless you're a part of the program and you go forward with it. Soham, Soham asked, sir, is this course for the students who have completed 12 this year? Soham, you can definitely take up the course, right? The job guarantee is something which does not work for you because obviously uh, there's some time for it, but you can definitely learn through this. You can definitely learn through this, right? As a fresher, guys, as in when you start as a fresher, when I say a fresher, right? When I say a fresher, it is someone who is freshly out of college. The average packages range between 6 to 8 lakhs, right? The average package ranges between 6 to 8 lakhs. And if you see after 3 to 5 years of transition into MNCs, MANGs or FANGs as we call it, you can get to work abroad, you can get to remotely travel, you get to work from anywhere you want, and the salary range goes up to $120,000. That, guys, that's a lot of money. Devanjali, we will help you choose one. We'll help you choose one through the first 4 years, first 4 weeks of the program, right? We'll expose you through different projects. We'll expose you to different set of job professions, and that is how you choose. So we have a program designed specifically for that. And through your test, you would come to know through mentor experts, you would exactly come to know what best suits you, and thereafter you can go ahead with a specialization. So we'll not put you into specialization directly, right? Guys, I am now set to announce the winner immediately, right? I will not take much of your time. So it's your final chance to basically go ahead and apply for this free, amazing course. Don't waste a lot of time, right? Take your first step now. Taking your first step now, right? I'll just wait for the last few seconds if you're actually looking forward to it, right? And I'll actually show you how do we select our winner. Right, guys, the last few seconds I see the number of registrations are increasing, and one of the most important things is that you stay with me till the last step of things, right? Thank you, Krupali. Thank you. I'll go ahead and present my screen. You go ahead and present my screen, guys. Right, so here you find a list of all the people available. I have in total 114 people, right? I'll close this, I'll save a few privacy concerns for sure. I have in total of 114 people, and I'll show you this. So this is a random number generator, right? I'll run it 3 times, it will show you 3 different random numbers. So what is the first random number? It says 31, we run it again, right? It says 95, we run it again for the third time, it says 74, right? Guys, the final chance, all the best, right? May the best win, right? May you get lucky today, right? Let it this be your best day, right? So there we go. 3, 2, 1, go. So it says number 87. Let's see who is the lucky winner. Number 87. So it says Renit Ramesh. Renit, I hope you're still here. Renit, I hope you're still here. Right, Renit, you would get this amazing call. You'll get this call from our learners. You'll get this call from our team to basically call you up, right, and help you enroll in for the course. Make sure you pick up that call and you don't lose out onto it. Right, that would be our most important call, and we'll enroll you for our job guarantee program. For learners who were not who did not win, please don't lose out, right? We would basically help you make sure that you get the best of the discounts available and you can actually opt in for it while you discuss your details one-on-one, right? Right. Dipanjali, you asked this question. This is an amazing question. I'll take this up now. I have completed my graduation and non-IT background. Does it affect the CV because the gap after the graduation? No, Dipanjali, the career team will basically help you understand. We basically want to understand why is that gap there. If there is a genuine reason, that should not be the case, right? Yes, Ranit, Ramesh, uh, you will be opting in for for this free course, and that's amazing, guys. Guys, for people who did not win, stay here with me, and this is amazing price of 7980 in 12 no cost EMIs, right? That's the minimum pricing that you would ever get, right? So that's approximately half of the original pricing available with us, right? We have an amazing EMI program available wherein you do not need to process the entire fees at once. Shabazz will be done in the next 5 minutes. Please stay with me, right? Right. Please stay with me. There's an amazing EMI program wherein you can pay the fees in 12 months of no cost EMI, right? And there are no interest involved. The best part about it is, right? Let's say you bring in a friend along. So for every reference that you get us, there'll be a further discount of 5,000 rupees, right? There'll be a further discount of 5,000 rupees. And I feel when you have some a friend studying with you, that you get an accountability partner, and that becomes amazing, right? So getting your friends along with you to do this amazing course and grow together. That gets you a lot of discounts, a lot of encouragement and motivation as well, right? And guys, finally, a few of you, if I remember correctly, at the start of the webinar, wanted to know if you get a certificate, an official certificate of the webinar. So how do you get it? I'll explain it here. You'll have to write an honest review about the webinar on the Facebook page or Google, right? After you do that, you take a screenshot of that review and send it across on info@codinginvaders.com. Once you send across that screenshot, right, my team will receive it. My team here, Manoj and Nick, who are there in the background, will receive it, and a certificate will be sent over to you in the next 1 to 3 days. I'll repeat, write out a very genuine feedback about what did you feel about the webinar, what more can we talk about, right? What would you want us to improve, right? And send out a screenshot at info@codinginvaders.com, and you get your certificate in the next 1 to 3 days, right? That was an amazing session, guys. That was an amazing summer evening that I've spent with all of you. Thank you so much for that amazing energy that you guys have, right? And looking forward to having the maximum most of you over for the course, right? And learning with us, enjoying your journey with us, and getting the best and starting off with your dream career, right? All the best, all the best, and have an amazing evening. Thank you, guys. Logging out now.